Hey everybody, welcome to Keyword Crypto. This is Michael. This is my first time back since catching COVID, and fuck am I still tired. Okay. I have RightClickable joining me today. He is an NFT creator, and before you all start screaming and yelling at me, he's here for a reason. So give him a chance. RightClickable. How you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. And I'm sorry to hear you had to go through the COVID thing. I had to as well pretty recently, and wasn't very fun. But I hope you're doing better now.
Yeah, I mean, the symptoms went away relatively quick, like within 3 or 4 days. But man, that fatigue stayed with me for 3 full weeks, where I just felt like I couldn't even get out of bed.
Yeah,
It was
mine's been like
insane.
mine's been lingering. And I still kind of have a cough, so if you hear a little bit of that, I'm sorry about that. But
Yep, I still have that
we'll
periodically.
we'll fight through it together. But
Yeah,
uh, but thanks for having me on, and I'll do a little brief
yeah.
history about who I am, but I'm RightClickable at RightClickable on Twitter. Um, like Michael said, I'm a NFT creator, but I'm just a crypto enthusiast in general. I've been in the space since 2017. Had a great time on the run up and a bad time in the bear market down throughout 2018. But during 2018, I created a very early NFT project called Pepe Dap, where I was the artist for it. Back then, artists weren't sort of empowered like they are now. There wasn't as many tools at hand. So I worked with a team, and we had and like the developer had to totally build out a full marketplace and everything, even just to sell the things. But that was called Pepe Dap, and it was the first Pepe's on Ethereum.
Okay.
And anyone that's been in crypto, at least like OG, I think OG is sort of like 2017 because that's when I joined. But,
we'll
and
give ourselves the OG moniker, us 217, the class
hell
of
yeah,
217.
I'll take the pat on the back. But anything before that, if you were on crypto Twitter, Pepe has been a part of crypto since like the beginning. And of course, there's rare Pepes, which was sort of the nascent form of NFTs on
Yeah.
Counterparty. And we sort
Joe
of
Lubin's
took
been on the show. No, not Joe Lubin. Joe. Why am I blanking on Joe's last name?
Joe Rogan.
No, no.
Uh,
The guy who did Rare
okay.
Pepes. Why am I blanking on his
uh,
last name? He's been on the show a couple times.
yeah, unfortunately, I'm not totally familiar with all the history of rare Pepes, uh, I like them, and there's specific ones that I really like and thought were funny, and kind of got into the meme when I joined Twitter. Like everyone else, I had like a different idea about what the frog was and meant, and Twitter, crypto Twitter, kind of changed my view about it, and I sort of realized it was part of the culture and for fun and about friendship, at least in crypto Twitter. And we sort of took the idea of rare Pepes on Counterparty and created the first Pepes on Ethereum. So I'm very proud of that. And that was like my earliest experience in NFTs, and it did pretty well. There's some old articles about that you can go check out. But after that, kind of just lingered as things got very sad. As 2018 kind of evaporated any wealth I was able to accrue, and
Yep.
got dark times, and kind of hung around, stayed interested in crypto. Thought certainly the whole NFT thing was dead, and uh, and then sort of I noticed when NFTs really started picking up again, like I was just feeling very bitter and mad at the world that I was like a little too early. Sometimes
Yeah,
the
that's
only
gotta
thing worse.
suck. My
Sometimes
God.
the only thing worse of being late is being too early. Uh, but kind of noticed it was kind of picking up steam again, and I had a couple of good friends. One at Famobi Dick, who founded Boring Protocol. Maybe you've heard of that before, but that was that's sort of a decentralized VPN service with a token.
Okay, yeah.
And that's a really cool project. You should check it out. But he kind of called me back in from retirement, and we started Scoogies, which was the first Pepe's on Solana. So I have the claim of first Pepe's on 2 chains.
Nice.
But together, he kind of held my hand through the process of starting up one of these sort of next generation NFT projects. Kind of got me hooked up with the developer and sort of everything we needed to do to build the community and sell on Solana. He was Boring Protocol being a very early project on Solana. He kind of was connected with a lot of the early Solana people. So my friend brought me back in. Scoogies was a success. We sold them. We created the first social. I'm realizing that I'm just kind of my brief backstory here is just turning into a long history, and I'm sorry.
It's all right. Just keep going.
Feel free to cut me off.
No, it's okay.
We then we created the first social media integrated game on an NFT, which is Scoogies Battle, which I sent you one that's able to battle. So hopefully later on Twitter we can fight each other.
All of my Scoogies are all battled out. So that was cool. That when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, nice. Now I got one more.
Yeah, let's fight later. So maybe I'll stop it there. Well, I should mention the latest project, maybe, but maybe we kind of one thing that made me excited to do this podcast is when you said that your listeners are maybe not necessarily into NFTs.
Most of them aren't. They flat out tell me, they're like, "Oh, I like your show. I listen to you when you talk about NFTs, but yeah, I think you're an idiot for buying NFTs."
Well, this is what gets me really excited because I want to talk to people that aren't your sort of typical dog coin enjoyer.
Yeah.
I want to talk to people that are smart and sort of more demanding of like what the utility is of what they're buying. I want to talk to people that are skeptical about NFTs and maybe think they're stupid. I want to sort of explain what we're up to and why it's something that's next level. It's not just a profile picture, and it's maybe something they could be interested in.
Well, so here's the thing about my audience is they're too smart for their own good. They're the ones who,
that's totally relatable, right? Like,
everyone's like, yeah, Shiba Inu, and people and everybody on my eyes is like, this is a total fucking scam. And then it goes up like 10,000x to like, God damn it.
That is the meme. Like we're all these sort of mid-curve, like fairly smart people, and then here's the geniuses and the dum-dums just killing it. And but it's painful. I get it. Like I really wish I bought some dog coins. I really wish I was not too bitter to kind of jump in on like Bored Apes and. I was there. I had the opportunity. I was early to NFTs, and I'm looking at these things like, this is dumb. Like, what's the point?
Dude, I literally bought the project that launched like 2 days before Bored Apes, and I didn't have any money left. It's like a thing called Voxo Deus, and
like
it's good. It's like
gorillas or
no, it's like these pixelated like machines, and they have a relationship with Sandbox, and they're gonna be avatars and Sandbox, and like really cool project, just never caught on. And that was just before Bored Apes, and I was like, God damn it, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking at punks, and they're just like going nuts. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hey guys, remember these Pepes? Aren't those pretty cool? Are these gonna like catch back on? And they had a little moment there, and I do have faith like eventually they're gonna have sort of a place in history because I think the meme is important. But yeah, what the apes really did was sort of they caught on to the idea of like an exclusive community. Like that was the
Yeah.
first NFT that really pushed that, and it was really smart. So I
Yeah.
I missed it. I was there for it. I hate myself, but
That was definitely a right curve, left curve. Whoever like they
mm,
saw that, and the left curve people are just like, yeah, I'm cool. And the right curve people are like, man, these people will fall for anything.
uh-huh.
But it is good art. I mean, the guys spent a lot of money on the art. I like the art. I don't necessarily like the project. I mean, especially now that I'm reading all this really detailed literature about how it's just like full on like white supremacist propaganda throughout, like littered throughout. And I'm just like, oh my god,
I
dude.
heard that too, but like I
There's
feel
3 articles I will send you. The stuff that these people pull out that I would never have known about, just like the names of things, the imagery. I'm just like, oh my god. Like even Yuga Labs is like a reference to like some like fascist what I don't even know. I just it was
look
painful to
like
read.
all of that stuff sort of right along with the Pepe imagery. It's like, yeah, I heard that the frog was racist. That's kind of what I thought it was too. I thought it was this alt right sort of symbol.
Yeah.
I was couldn't have been further from what that was. Like I'm from the sort of trad art world. I went to like art school. Like my crowd is like
Yeah.
anti
Okay.
this thing, but it's like when you get in there and you're actually seeing how people are using it, it's not that at all. And I think sometimes people that are looking at these things that are going up, it's like worth a ton of money. They don't get it. It's like a good opportunity to call it racist. And I think there's a lot of people that will jump on that
Well,
bandwagon
so
just because it's convenient.
I mean, I'll rebut in one sense of like Rare Pepe, the artist who created it, absolutely not racist. It got co-opted by right wing white nationalists on 4chan, and it absolutely became this whole racist thing. And it took a concerted effort by people who didn't want it to be that way anymore to pull it back and say, no, this isn't actually that. You don't get to co-opt this. And
Yeah, I
so
mean
I
that's
think that's great because I know the artist was freaking the fuck out because this thing he created was becoming this like super right wing Nazi propaganda bullshit. And he was just like, I don't like this is my art. I don't want that. I don't want to be
yeah,
associated with that. And that's I think as a fellow artist, I can't think of anything more horrific than a piece of art that I put out in the world getting co-opted by white nationalists and using it to try to like spread Nazi propaganda and shit. It's like that's horrific.
yeah, it's kind of a nightmare. But like there is a pretty good documentary that he put out. I don't know why I'm blanking on. It's Fairy. No,
Yeah, Matt
uh,
Ferry. No, I'm not
Fury.
Ferry.
I'm
Furry. Fure
Fury.
Fury.
Matt Fury. I'm getting the spray paint guy, whatever Fairy, Shepherd Fairy, mixed up with Matt
Okay.
Fury. Um, yeah, but Matt Fury, in one sense, like, yeah, he was like proclaim Pepe's dead, and on the other hand, I think he was just like kind of a pussy, and he should have kind of like, excuse my language, but he should have kind of realized like, okay, this meme has legs and power, and I can just like retake ownership immediately instead of just like let these people decide what my art's about. And what we've seen is the frog has been the power of a really good meme is anyone can make it anything. Like
Yeah.
it's open and
But I
it
think we
becomes
haven't seen that. I mean, as a fellow, like, look, I mean, 'cause think about back in your art education. Is there historical evidence of artwork that was co-opted by like an authoritarian regime and and the non-authoritarians fought to bring it back? I mean, I can't think of any, because I went to art school too.
Yes. There was Hitler, and he made an art exhibition called, like, I forget what it was called. It was like Degenerate Art. It was called that in German.
Okay.
And then everything that was in the Degenerate Art show became the most famous modern art in the world. So, I mean,
well, no, but he was saying it was bad. He's saying this was like, these people should be killed for their artwork, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there is that slight difference, but it was sort of like it was artwork that was co-opted to, like, as propaganda. Like, if you like this art, then there's something wrong with you. You're like, some kind of Jewish.
I mean, that's just the Christian right in America right now, though. For the last 30 years, trying to like accuse out pretty much every single artist of being like a pedophile in some way or something. It's like, pure projection on their part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into the politics of everything, because I think everyone is so confused in this moment. Like, we're caught in our social algorithms and our bubbles, and it's sort of like we don't really have the whole story on everyone else, and it feels like the complexity and nuance is missing from a lot of thought. But in this scenario, I think Matt Fury kind of didn't see the power of Pepe, and what a meme actually is sort of, it's not just an artwork. It's almost like a medium in itself. You can, it's like the paint, like you can take a Pepe and sort of form it in the shape of anything. And that's what memes are to me. Yeah. And it's sort of like the medium, not the message, or the image itself. So,
well, then I'll give it up to you as one of the first people to put a rare Pepe on Ethereum. I'll give it up for you for being, in this sense, it was good to be ahead of the pack. It was good to be early, because most people weren't doing that. And we actually had a long discussion on this show like 3 years ago about rare Pepe. And
oh, really?
It's just the idea of like, at what point are you going to be labeled as being like those guys who are using it in those terms? And it sounds like you were just like, fuck that. This is art. We're not going to let that happen.
I don't really care.
That's not easy.
See, the thing is I see the world as, a very dynamic place, the most dynamic place, the only place really that we have is the world. It's, I can find my audience, and if there's going to be people that just aren't ready to have a conversation, if they want to shut it down with their own assumptions, then, they're just not ready for it, or it's not for them, that's fine.
Yeah.
And what I found was on crypto Twitter is that I had an audience of really cool, smart people that were interested in crypto and all these ideas of decentralization and self-custody and sort of these things that I thought was really rad. And they thought the Pepes were cool, and they wanted me to pepify their profile pictures. And that's kind of how I got into crypto art.
Yeah.
Was I was giving it away for free, and just my friends on Twitter, I'd turn their profile picture into a Pepe. Because back then we didn't have NFTs, so everyone was just doing their shitty version of Photoshop to make some kind of anonymous image. So it's like people were begging for NFTs back then. They just
like
wanted
Not So Fast, pictures. Right? Didn't you do a Kugi for Not So Fast?
Yeah. He has an honorary Kugi, and Kugis are the
I got to say the word right.
One of one. Well, everyone has a different take on it too. Soft G or hard G. It's kind of like GIF.
Okay.
But Kugis are named after the sweater, like the Kugi sweater, like.
Okay,
yeah. Biggie Smalls, Cosby, unfortunately. But
we're not going to let Cosby ruin the sweater. We're going to take it back.
Yeah, I'm taking the sweater back, damn it. Excellent sweaters. Those really need to come back. And I've seen them in some NFTs, so they're loved by a lot of people. But
if you want to see what he's talking about, go to the Coogie's collection, the Coogie's collection on OpenSea, and there's one called Sweater Coogee, and he's wearing a Coogee, right?
And that was the very first one I drew. So it's the namesake of the of the character, sort of my take on a Pepe. He's like a sort of a new my iteration of a Pepe or whatever, my design of one. So that character's called Coogee. He's slightly fatter. He's got sort of stupid, like 3-fingered hands that are kind of like a little naive the way I drew them, but sort of trying to get the feel of like a real meme. And that was sort of the charm of that collection is people actually made some pretty funny memes out of them just because that character just lends itself to it.
He's got that nice punchable face, like very soft. I don't work on a farm. I like push buttons for a living type body.
Yeah, I see the Coogee character is sort of and come with me now. Sort of a contemporary Mona Lisa. You can sort of project a lot of emotions onto his face because it's sort of smug. It's sort of smug. It's a little sad. It's kind of happy. It's cute. It's like ugly. It's kind of like
could be low IQ or high IQ.
Yeah, we don't really know, and that's like the flexibility and what I really loved when I sort of was sketching and found that character was like, yeah, this sort of is like an emotion mirror, and it's really stupid, and maybe it's also smart, and I don't know. That was a lot of fun.
That's great.
I think we've kind of covered my early experience with NFTs, but I do want to talk about what I'm up to now, if that's okay.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Why don't we talk about the battles first, and then we go into the new project.
Yeah. I don't know. How long is your podcast normally? I feel like I just had some caffeine, so I'm talking fast, but
I mean, from like 45 minutes to like an hour and a half usually. Just depends on the person's time.
I got to speed up. There's so much so little time, so much to do, or whatever that Willy Wonka quote is. So Skoogee Battles. The goal for Skoogee Battles was, okay, I'm seeing a lot of NFTs. This was sort of very early Solana NFTs. Skoogee's was, one of the first handful that came out. But I was like, I'm seeing a lot of profile pictures. Like, let's have them do something.
Yeah.
And like, let's do a simple demonstration of what's possible with an NFT. And what we decided to do was like, okay, I want to leverage social media, so Twitter, to sort of make as much noise as possible with the simplest game possible, which when you boil it down, it's basically a coin flip. Yeah. And so what we do is the game of it, though, is really just sort of a social game of like, okay, I got a beef with a friend, or I just want to like bust balls on Twitter. Let me challenge someone. And you sort of use our Twitter bot, which is at Skoogee's Battle. And you at the bot and then at your friend, and somewhere in there you just say the word challenge. So you can challenge someone in any way you want, like use your own language.
And this was interesting because this is the fun part. Like you said, you only have to have the word challenge in any part of the tweet. So you can do like 280 characters and only 8 of them have to be challenge. So you can have like a big long diatribe.
It's a real simple game in the end. There's really no skill to the game, and maybe in future rounds and iterations, there's a long way to go for Skoogee Battles, and I can kind of explain what that is. But in this first sort of V0 Skoogee Battle, the game really is just, are you good at trash talk? And so you challenge your friend on Twitter, and then they can accept, and then you both, send send your address to the bot, and then you go to our website, skoogy.com, and there you can choose a Skoogy from your wallet that you'd like to battle, and you then find out who won. So you each sort of send your Skoogy into the battle ring. There's like a cute little video that happens, and then there's a winner that's announced, and then that gets announced on Twitter. So there's like this live feed of results happening, live challenges, sort of public. It's just like public challenges and results, basically, is the game.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I would say my only disappointment with it was you could only battle each of our Skoogies once.
Yes, and there's a reason for that, and that's because each Skoogie can only lose one time, because Skoogies will have more generations.
Okay.
And each generation is half the size of the last.
Okay.
So every time you lose, that Skoogie never gets to fight again unless we sort of reboot battles like for fun later on or something like that. But at least for what we call breeding rights, because a good friend, Captain of Alts, misspelled breeding in a very early tweet about it, and it kind of stuck. So we're battling for breeding rights.
Dude, see, now you have to have a relationship with breadheads.
We sort of do. I mean, we're like collection buddies.
Okay.
And, yeah, we're definitely gonna include them in the current project and feature them in our meta gallery and stuff. But we'll get to that. And
that's another project that Not So Fast introduced me to.
Breadheads.
Yeah, he introduces me to everything, like all these like small, like hot dogs and like just it's like the most like obscure ones that just don't get a lot of love on Twitter.
Quick shout out to Not So Fast. If you're probably following him because he has a huge follower base, but Not So Fast is not only a big account, but one of the sweetest dudes out there, and just
he's been on the show 3 times.
Oh, really? Yeah. He's just like, he supports people, especially like artists.
He's great.
Just a really cool dude, like one of the real ones. Definitely follow Not So Fast. Lots of love to him. Shout out. Where were we?
So battles, future stuff down the road, future iterations.
Battles, breeding rights, new generations, and eventually what happens is we sort of continue these rounds of battle, and it halves the generations as we go, and then it's sort of like down to, I mean, eventually it'll be like only 2 Skoogies left, and it'll be battle for like the ultimate God Skoogie at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take a while though. I want iterations of what battles actually are. I want to add maybe some skill to it, a little bit more interaction, just kind of build it out. So, but at the moment, it's somewhat taking a backseat to the current projects, because Skoogies ultimately will benefit a lot from what we're creating with the current thing.
Okay. So let's talk about Memphis Lions Club.
Yes. Should I just like go into the thing?
Yeah. Hold on. I pressed a button and a video started.
I know that music, by the way. That's the Portal video.
Yep. I'm on the Twitter page and I clicked it by accident.
You should play that music in the background while I explain it.
Okay, hold on. There you go. Let me turn on the volume. Okay, go ahead.
So Memphis Lions Club, led by the Alpha Lion himself, Memphis Depay. And if you are a football fan, and I'm saying football because this is for like the Europeans out there.
Okay.
If you happen to be a soccer fan, Memphis Depay is a legendary striker for our FC Barcelona and also the Dutch national team.
Damn, nice.
Really, really cool guy. And he's not just a soccer player. He's also a fashion sort of influencer and designer, has his own clothing brand. He's a rap artist. You can see his music videos on YouTube. He wrote a book. He's just like this really dynamic dude, and he's just, cool. He's just a cool guy. He's got this really dope, recently he showed this really dope grill that he has with a board. He has a bored ape, and it's like the ape is on one of the diamond teeth on this grill that he has.
Oh, nice. Wow.
So he's an NFT lover, and just this huge global celebrity. So we got connected with him and started this project called the Memphis Lions Club, and it's he has this massive tattoo of a lion on his back. That's why we chose the lion as the PFP. But this is it's your standard generative 9,999 lion PFPs. Okay, so far your audience hates it. I got it. All right, stay with me though. Okay, there's more. All right. So we got these.
Bring it.
We got these lions, but you can go to memphislionsclub.com right now.
Okay.
And what you'll see there is the Memphis verse, which is our sort of little metaverse, and it's sort of a 3D little city, and each building in that city represents a standalone application that we're building. And the point of this is we wanted to build something that Memphis can sort of leverage his global brand partners like Puma and Red Bull, and feature all of his different interests in music and clothing, and sort of build out utility to explore some of his other interests in an all-encompassing way with the community. And this is what real Web3 utility and NFTs can bring to an individual or a brand. Okay. And this is like the real sort of value proposal of what NFTs can be. And it's something that we haven't really seen yet, because in early days, you just sort of make a PFP, sell it, and people like it or they don't.
Try to do a pump and dump really quick.
Yeah, that's not what's happening here. We're building. You can try before you buy a little bit, and in the coming weeks, we'll be releasing sort of the V1 version of all those applications. One of the first being the Meta Gallery, and this is a place where, and I should mention this. Maybe I'll mention this first. Like when you first arrive there, you see like a little portal in the front right, and that portal is sort of our navigation system. Because if you hold a Memphis Lions Club NFT, you can get all of the utility and your very own customizable metaverse for your own NFT collection. So let's say the breadheads they don't have maybe a focus on having a metaverse right now. They can have all the utility and things we're building for themselves just for holding a lion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're offering this like huge value proposition to other NFT collections who, right at the moment, we're experiencing a bear market. There's probably a lot of collections kind of looking around right now, like, how do I stay relevant? How do I deliver this roadmap that I had? How do I, if they're even interested in continuing? And what we think is they're going to have this opportunity to just hold a lion and connect into this network of metaverses and be able to be discovered across our network in things like the NFT Meta Gallery. And right now we're sort of, oh man, I'm getting out of breath. Right now we're sort of reaching out to other collections to kind of partner and display like what that utility can be. And so like, let's say the breadheads, I know they were nominated in one of our recent sort of giveaway tweets
The one that I won.
That's right. And let's just say that was not, we did not set up this like
Yeah, purely by
this
chance,
podcast.
everybody.
I just happened to be like, oh sweet, this guy's like, I'm glad a real guy won the thing. I'll send him his NFT, and then I'm like following back, and I'm like, has a podcast. Love that.
Which he obviously didn't know about because he didn't know that Not So Fast has been on it, and that's great. Like this is the whole point. It's like getting more people.
If I would have known Not So Fast was on it, I would have discovered it. But that's the thing. Like you could have a really quality product and just need to be discovered by more people, and that's what we're trying to provide is this network where we can show your NFTs and say, I reached out to Not So Fast. Hey, do you want to curate an exhibition in our gallery? Show us what NFTs are cool right now. And you can go in our gallery and look at the Not So Fast pics and then share them right to your Twitter and tell all your friends, hey, I just discovered this NFT collection, looks really cool. And then there's a link back to the Memphis Lions Club or whatever other metaverse you might have been in when you saw it. So not only do we have a gallery, we have a clubhouse, which is basically like the way I see it is sort of like an updated Discord. Okay. Like this whole thing is a whole is sort of like right now every NFT collection needs to have a Discord where you organize your community.
Yeah.
Like we want to give you not only a place where you can communicate with your community, but also a place where all of their wallets are connected. You can offer products. They can create things and have opportunity to monetize their skills and just a much more rich, connected experience. So we have the clubhouse. That's sort of like a VR chat. We have a meta stage. This is for videos. And one way we're using that right off the bat is we have this exciting Red Bull physical event that's happening, and we're giving out tickets to that in our Discord soon. But if you happen to be able to get to the Netherlands, you can go to this live event. But if you can't, we still have an experience for you. You can watch the events on our meta stage.
That's pretty cool.
And then we have this physical event that we can see in our metaverse, and then we can extend that event in sort of a simple game that could be like an invitational kind of game. And then Red Bull can give you some maybe physical prizes that get dropped through our airship, which is our physical delivery system. Okay. So we just have these applications that sort of connect together in a way that like a brand partner like Red Bull can extend the life of an event they're planning with a celebrity like Memphis.
This is what people have been saying that NFTs could bring us, and everyone was just trying to do pump and dumps and make money on it for the past 3 years, which is fine because like that's the first iteration. Like that's what people are doing with it in the beginning. They're just trying to make money off of it. But now people are like, oh, we can actually do real stuff with this.
Yeah, that's the goal. Let's do some real stuff. And even like the Bored Apes, so like we've been working on this for months. It's been a long time since like December. But we're like, oh man, no one's working on this. We're way ahead of the curve. We're just like every day just patting ourselves on the back, and then like Bored Apes just dropped this amazing production of a video like announcing the other side.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm like, oh, fuck. Shit. Oh, no. But then they launched their thing, and yet again, it's another JPEG of like some fucking plot of land that has like a character on it that doesn't even like
Yeah.
connect to the apes. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
But they made like $300 million or some shit on it. Like, or I don't know what the number was. It
It's
was
insane.
disgusting.
I mean, they've got billions
Yeah.
of dollars now just because of this project, which is insane.
Yeah, they're doing great, but we don't have that treasury. We
Yeah.
have a scrappy team, but we do have Memphis, and we do have brands like Red Bull and Puma, and we do have 0x Nero D, who's our lead developer, who's a
Nice.
genius, and we have Zod in the community, and Biddy McBitface, who's our ops line. If you're ever interested in a partnership, he's who you talk to. I just have like this ragtag group of really solid friends that I've met since 2017 in the crypto space that are just anti-scammers. These are people
Yeah.
that have been hanging around just making stuff, and like I can trust them, and we're just doing our thing.
Nice. That's important. I mean, I did a blog post last week of just like, was the last 5 years worth it? Because now that we're back in the bear market, I'm doing the math, and I think I'm like up maybe $50 total with all the money I've put in since 2017 and lost. I think I'm up a total of like $50 or $100.
Well, friends are the real Bitcoin, man.
That's what I keep trying to tell myself, and it's just like the experience was the journey. It's the
I got a whole lot of JPEGs. I got like a donut with a ball gag in its mouth and some other dumb shit. God damn it! I did the exact same thing as 2007. Like,
I know.
Unbelievable.
I cannot believe I did it again. The second bull run, and I just like I didn't sell the. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the worst part is I sold maybe like 3/4 of the way down. So I only lost like a quarter from the top, and I had it all in a curve pool that had UST in it, and I lost like 40%. And I was like, God damn it, I cannot catch a break here. So I learned the hard way. Not going to make any of those mistakes again.
The people that say just buy Bitcoin and hold it, like there's really something to be said about that.
Oh yeah, I might just do that with Ethereum this time. Just like stick to Ethereum.
Yeah, but Ethereum even has. I mean, I don't really want to get in because I'm very pro Ethereum. What we're building is chain agnostic. So when we put out this meta gallery, you'll be able to include both ETH and Sol NFTs in a single exhibit.
Oh, nice.
So love Ethereum, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we got this transition from proof of work to proof of stake. How's that going to go?
Yeah.
And then even Sol is like has downtime. That feels bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just criticisms about everything.
The weirdest thing is I
love Bitcoin.
I still haven't heard any criticisms that have stuck about Avalanche. And just nobody talks about it pro or con. They're always like, everything's shutting down, everything's a scam. And I'm like, wait a minute, what about Avalanche? I haven't heard. Like, dude, I don't know.
Big fan of Avalanche, and I had a bunch of it very early on. This round, made a bunch of money on it. Feel good about that. Lost it in some other things. Let's not talk about that. But Avalanche is solid, and I like how fast it works. And I think Avalanche has the best chance to sort of do like synthetic stocks and things like that. But it's kind of quietly moving along. But the thing is like it's just not capturing the culture,
the zeitgeist
kind of as well. Yeah, it's not kind of doing the things that Sol is doing. And I like Sol because like we're building all this utility and stuff. There's just like a whole lot of transactions, and I don't want to sell things for a price point just so I can have transactions that are like $50 or more. I feel like that's dumb.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean it's not cool to people trying to support you either. It's like
no, I don't want that. I want like let's find let's find a real market for these things, and not have transactions fees be sort of the limiter. So that's why we chose Sol, because we're just the things we're building has a high demand of transactions, like in numbers. So
Yeah,
that's why we went with it. Um,
well, that's good. I
so
mean,
well,
look, I'm sure it's going to stick around. It's got a ton of VC backing, so I doubt they're going to let it collapse. And then worst case scenario, if it does, I feel like it's big enough now where someone's going to figure out a way to easily port everything over to whatever does stick around. So I feel like
there's
that's
already
a
there's
safe
some
one.
exciting things. God, I hate myself for forgetting the name of it, but the idea of this thing, and it's coming out very soon. It's basically you can send a message basically from one chain to another. And never mind, I'm not going to explain this. I'm going to butcher it. But it's like it's this way of communicating across chain that's just like really revolutionary. I think it's going to do a lot of things, especially for a project like us.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't see a lot of this stuff going away. I just see people figuring out ways to easily cross, cross the universe, whatever, get from chain to chain. I just don't see it being,
No, yeah, that's exactly right.
and I don't even see people having to like manually click through. I just, in the future, I think like everything's just going to be going on behind, like nobody knows how TCP/IP works. They don't even know it
We're
exists.
we're like in the era of you remember like hearing like about the hackers that could play like a whistle over like a phone and get free calls.
Yeah.
It's like we're in this era of like back then of like things are very clunky, and it's only going to get better. And you know, this what's important is, and what people that maybe are in your audience and are skeptical about NFTs. I'm guessing the reason they like crypto is sort of the idea of self custody. Like there's sort of these uh, what's it called? Sort of philosophy. The philosophy of the space.
Yeah. They like the
Is
idea of
giving.
money, of decentralized money. A lot of them
They
say to
want
me.
they want hard money that's decentralized, that they can have self custody and no one can take from them. And so, like, this philosophy is giving power to the individual. And right now, with our Web 2 sort of status of things, we have these major companies that are on an individual level just mining our data, and like we're the product, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And as more and more of our information gets ported to the internet, people are going to want to protect it more and more, and they're going to realize that they're just getting used and abused by these this the sort of way everything is built now. And I think the way out of it is Web3, and sort of taking that sort of personal custody, like you do your currency, with your data and information via NFTs. And
Yeah.
that's sort of.
And I think there's this weird idea that like, oh, it's decentralized, so no one should make any money. What? No. If no one makes any money, no one's going to build it. It's not about people not making money. It's about the customer having full control over their information.
Yeah, like the people that are going to make money are going to be the people empowering people, like creating value. I think making money is a fantastic thing. I mean, right now it's kind of disgusting in the way that people are able to make money in the space, because there's a lot of scams, a lot of empty bullshit. So I'm glad I'm talking to an audience like yours that is skeptical, has sort of these fundamental philosophies already built in, because we're interested in the same stuff with crypto.
Yeah.
But like, hear me out. NFTs are not all bullshit, and there's a reason for them. And I'd like to make the argument that companies like RightClickable are building what the future and of NFTs are, and with the correct philosophies behind us.
Yeah, and then I think when you just got to keep driving home, it's just like all cryptocurrency isn't a scam. Not all NFTs are a scam. Not all NFTs are burning the planet. Not all doing all that kind of stuff. It's just like
Right.
Sol is
I
not
mean,
using a ton of energy like Bitcoin is, and Ethereum's moving to proof of stake, and it's like I'm constantly having to like defend NFTs, of which I think like 99% are just fucking cash grabs anyway. But it's just like,
yeah, and some are accidental cash grabs. Some of them maybe had good intentions, but they're going to go to zero.
yeah,
But like, you use your common sense. Like, if you're going to own one NFT, own something that maybe has a reason for it to be around. Maybe some like the nice thing about this project, and what feels really great about it is, most things that I've created in the past, I've always felt like in competition with other projects.
okay.
Like, I kind of want to be like the Highlander of art or something. Like I hope you fail. Like, I don't know. It's like a dark part of like the artist spirit of like seeing even friends like do well. I'm just like, God damn it! Like, I just want. I want to do good. But
I
the
must
thing
kill
about
you.
this, yeah, like that could have been my money. But the thing about this project is I'm actually in a position of like, oh, I could provide value to that collection. I hope they do really well. That would look great for us.
Yeah,
It's like a whole new feeling, and that feeling to me makes me think I'm on the right track, because that's like a win-win. Like, okay, I'm going to do well because I'm going to help out this project or provide value, and it's like, what gets me really excited is I'm like finally not feeling like I'm in competition. I feel like I'm building for the whole space.
I mean I think as an artist, I think people who are artists because they don't have a choice, they have to be. It's just in them. I think those are the kind of people
Oh
who
God! If you have a kid that wants to be an artist and they're out there, please try to make them do something else. Just
anything else. But
oh
there's for those of us who would I joke around. I tried to take an office job, and if I had a window, I would have jumped out of it. It's just like I can't do that kind of stuff. I can't. I just it drives me like I don't know. I just can't do it. So like I'm an artist because I have to be, and I think that deep down, the vast majority of us who are artists because we have to be, our ulterior motives are wanting to better society, because that's the essentially the whole part of the point of art is to tell stories, of of people and societies, and make people laugh or make people cry or make people think, and we're not
yeah.
doing this to become millionaires. Like you said, a lot of this stuff is accidental millionaires, and you're like, oh cool, that you actually get like that one. Okay, great, mate, nice. I don't have to work at Taco Bell tonight. Great.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the reason maybe artists have a hard time in those environments is like we can sort of we sense the bullshit too
Yeah.
strong, like, or we internalize the bullshit too much.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, we're sort of acutely aware of our limited time on Earth to like create something, and it's like this drive to like achieve some sort of meaningful expression, and then you get in these scenarios where you feel like your days are just kind of spiraling down a toilet, and it's depressing, and it feels like, I don't know, it feels terrible.
Yeah.
but I think that's kind of the plight of the artist, and I'm really happy there's something like NFTs that have been an opportunity to kind of lift a lot of artists out of and give them a way to circumvent the current sort of gallery system,
Yeah. That's
uh,
amazing.
and sort of go right to the patrons and sell directly. And just, I mean, an NFT that's just a piece of art. Don't get me wrong. I support that 100% too. Like if
Sure.
you see an art that feels meaningful to you, that one day in your sort of meta mansion you want hanging on the wall because you think it's cool,
Yeah.
buy that thing.
Yeah.
Like that's an artist out there, and if they sort of touched you somehow in an art way,
I
not
would
to
say
make that sound creepy.
most of my NFTs have gone to zero, and I'm okay with it because the ones I bought I actually just liked because of the art and I was supporting the artist.
Yeah, I have a couple like that. I also have some really stupid shit I bought, um, but definitely like I'm really happy that there's this opportunity to not to disrupt the art world because it is really kind of a piece of shit to have
Yeah.
because in the art world itself, there there is sort of thought crime that you can have, or there like you can't for as sort of like as free and like all the ideas of what people think art should be, sort of this free personal expression. It like as you sort of go through the ranks of like grad school for art and like into the art world through the gallery system, there's a lot of things that sort of limit the possibilities of who you can be,
Yeah.
and it's oppressive.
And it's also you have to
And
play a lot of games to get. I mean, so if anybody, so I did a lot of photography when I was younger, and I feel like that gave me a good insight. Anybody who paints or does photography, I think, has a pretty good insight of like just how many games you have to play just to show a physical piece of work.
yeah,
It's insane.
and I've had some of those shows and some really, I've gotten the shows in the galleries you really want to get to and had some sales, but even then it's like, okay, I've done the impossible.
Yeah.
I've made it all the way into this sort of sacred inner circle of artists that get to show at real shows that get written by, like real magazines and things like that. Why the fuck am I still poor? and, and like, why is it hard to get another show? It's like, it's just, it's a very small percentage of people that can really sort of thrive in the actual art world, and those
Yeah.
people are taking. I mean, it's like anything. Sort of 90% goes to 1% or whatever.
This is what I tell people. I say the most common form of art that people think about is acting. You know, on TVs and movies, they think if they see you on TV or movies, something that they watch every single day, that you got to be rich. Well,
No,
only 8% of actors living in Los Angeles can actually support themselves from acting. 8%. I've
yeah,
booked
it's
more
brutal.
acting jobs than like 90% of Hollywood, and I've never once been able to pay I've never made enough in a year to be able to support myself. It's insane.
It's brutal. It's brutal. But I mean, that's kind of what we signed up for, I guess.
Yeah, but so then
But
imagine like being a painter or a photographer or a sculptor. It's just like I mean, you don't see like blockbuster weekends of the latest sculptor of Joe Schmo down the street. It's just like there's not a lot of money in that. So imagine trying to if only 8% of actors can literally survive just from acting. Imagine being like a sculptor. That's got to be insane.
yeah, and I'm a painter, so it's like, okay, I got to buy this tube of paint that costs $150. This
Plus the
this goddamn
canvas.
painting is gonna take me a month,
Yeah.
and yeah, I might sell it for $10,000 even, let's say, but with the materials and shipping and storage and the studio and like
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
well, that sucks. But 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 if we sort of get out, if we escape from the system that sort of has these false gates around it, which are these sort of gallery institutions taking 50% of sales, museums, sort of like
Yeah,
grad school
hold on.
shows.
He wasn't exaggerating. Galleries take like 50% of sales.
Oh, straight up,
So
50% standard. standard. So if you can buy out of the studio from an artist that isn't signed by a gallery yet, you can, in general, I don't percentage off right out of the studio just because, I want the shows to sell.
Yeah.
Because you need the show to sell to get another one.
Yeah.
There's like all these goddamn games, but the collectors know that the galleries take 50%, and then, they want to come direct to the studio, and then you're trying to like fend off collectors that might be interested but only want to buy it cheap. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
But if we can escape that system with a system where we can approach a huge amount of people, like we can leverage the internet and sort of, if you're willing to make that sacrifice of sort of giving up the physical relationship with the material, you can make digital work, and you're not paying for those materials. You're not paying for storage. You're not paying for a studio. You can work on, like I do a lot of my work now on an iPad.
Nice.
And I can sell to individuals directly. And now I can explore sort of other aspects about myself because I have all this sort of found time. I can be sort of entrepreneurial. I can lead a team with developers. I can collaborate with people with skills I don't have because I'm not like locked away in my studio for months. I can be on the internet with my friends and sort of push and pull some ideas around and do cool shit.
Yeah.
Like the art of an NFT is not just the image. It's the blockchain that it exists on.
Yeah.
It's the currency that it was purchased with. It's all one thing. It's the developer that wrote the code for the contracts. It's the utility that you build for it. It's the gated clubhouse where people are talking with each other and displaying your art as their identity. Like we're like the ultimate art form for me has become how do I create an identity that someone would like to have?
Yeah.
That someone has the flexibility to live their digital life in a way that empowers them.
But we're still at a point, like you said, where like, we're whistling into telephones to get free phone calls. If you don't know how to do that, you're stuck paying for the phone call. So we're at a point now where we still have gatekeepers because there's not enough coders, and the people who can write the code to do a drop.
A little bit, but
we're getting
I'm
there.
working on that.
Yeah. But right now, I mean, it's expensive to hire people to. I mean, so this project I'm working on, I'm talking to people who are going to build the website and do the contract, and it was going to be like $45,000.
Right.
And I'm like,
and they wanted that up front, or they wanted. I mean, I bet devs right now are asking for money up front instead of risking.
Probably.
Percentage of the mint. I mean, just to do Scoogies, like paid $10,000 up front, and that was a loan from my friend, and then a percentage of the mint, and
so I mean, it's insane. Luckily, a couple of people in the community know how to do it, and they're willing to do it for free. But I'm still going to dish out probably like $5,000 on my own.
So that's why part of what we want to do in the future, it's not on the roadmap right now, but we want a launch pad straight from the metaverse we're building. And we want this, so if you're a content creator, we want to write a contract where you can turn that into an NFT and sell it to the community as sort of an addition, an asset to make the experience of being there better, and you can earn money on that without needing a developer.
Nice. That's great. And like, I don't want to take food out of the developers' hands because they're the ones who are getting us here. But at the same point, we need to come to an equilibrium.
There's always more to develop. Like they're going to find a job. Like when NFTs are easy for individuals to do, we want to take that job away because then there's the next thing to develop. That's how we progress.
True, but you know what I mean. In sense of like, at this point, we're replacing one gatekeeper who's taking the vast majority of our money as artists away, and we're replacing it with a new. Now it's developers and coders who are taking away like the vast majority of the money we could possibly make, and it's
Yeah,
just like it just doesn't end.
that's why you gotta build a real partnership with those people, make them collaborators in the art, and that's what I'm, you know, personally lucky to have with 0x0D,
Nice.
at Pumponomics. He's our back end dev. Like these guys are in it for the art of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if for some reason it all goes to zero tomorrow, like we're going to be friends. We're going to be making something else in some other space together because that's just who they are. Like they are builders and we just work well together. So if you can find people like that, I encourage just to like reach out and talk to as many developers as you can meet and just build those relationships because developers are cool people.
Yeah.
They are people too. They're nerdy as fuck, but
developers are human beings too.
Yeah, they need love.
All right. So, is there anything else that you want to throw out to the audience about Memphis Lions Club? When's the drop going to happen?
When's the mint?
Mint, yeah.
The mint is TBD. Right now, if you join us, follow us at Memphis Lions on Twitter. In the description in our Twitter, in our bio, you'll find a link to our Discord. But I'm at RightClickable. Follow me, message me, at me, ask any question. I want some challenging questions. And another thing we're doing right now is our daily Twitter Spaces. Every single weekday. I don't know if this works for everyone, but it's usually around 12 Eastern.
Okay.
We take an hour just to give the community a chance to ask questions and then just drop our sort of daily information. Like we're all about trying to tell the story, and the story is massive and it takes a long time. So we're doing it every single day.
Like office hours. Nice.
Yeah. So come on into the office
That's
hours.
Great.
Ask your questions and listen. Like I know you guys are into crypto. Let me just ask this: what's the popular crypto in your listeners that you see?
I'd say I'd get a lot of nano listeners because like they're the nerdiest. Nano. Yeah, they're the nerdiest ones. They're the ones who want like free transactions, no inflation. They just want money. That's it. They just want decentralized money. And a lot of them do other stuff, like enjoy other stuff. But I would say like that's probably the largest bulk of listeners on the show.
So we're working with some people with high demands, practical thinking, smart individuals. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because you know what? All the dum-dums that bought the PFPs are wrecked. They lost all their money.
Yep.
I need smart people that didn't get wrecked, that actually are demanding some utility to come learn about what we're doing and be part of the next wave of what NFTs are going to be. So just come follow us at Memphis Lions. Hit me up with those hard questions. Let's get to know each other. I want to hear what the actual outstanding concerns are about NFTs. And I want to hear if anyone has like a good idea. Like maybe you hate NFTs because they haven't done whatever yet. Like what is it? Yeah. I want to be a part of that.
Well, I mean, if they've listened to this episode, they've gotten a pretty good understanding that you're trying to actually build utility. If you listen, so people who listen to the show know I hate the word value because I feel like it's just one of those like VC words. But utility is like people can actually use it for something because value can mean anything. I can take, the stupidest piece of art and hang it on my wall and it has value to me now because I like it.
Well, there's value to an individual, and then there's like liquid value to, many people.
Yeah. That's why that's why for NFTs, it's utility just because it's like, there's so much utility that this tool can be used for.
right. If you have that philosophy that you want to be sort of like, I'm guessing people that like nano like the idea of sort of, you know, be like having power over their wealth,
Yeah.
and they probably want that same exact thing for their identity. And you better start getting into NFTs because that's our way,
Yeah.
where you can use. Is there NFTs on Nano? What the hell's Nano up to?
No,
Like
it's
smart contracts?
just like no smart contracts, just money.
Well, that's no small thing if it's reliable and
Yeah.
and
And that's
liquid
the point. They were like, it would just slow the network down and blah blah. So I mean, look, I argue with them about that all the time. It's like, yo, you got to have something. I mean, but they're like, nope, just money. I'm like, okay, all right.
there's always a smart contract. You can sort of swap Nano for a native token and then transact like.
Yeah, there's going to be stuff on the back end that'll do it all for you. That'll convert. There's going to be
Yeah.
decentralized conversions. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. So
Yeah, if you're following how like creates a movement of integrate Nano into the right-clickable multi-metaverse, then maybe that's something we do if there's like enough people sort of crying for it. But I know Pumponomics could use another challenge. But that's interesting. I can't say I know a ton about Nano. It's sort of one of those coins that I've known about for a long time,
since
just existing.
2017.
But yeah, like it's one of those dinosaur coins that
Yeah.
like it's always good to hear like one of those names like mentioned now, and like kind of gives you hope of like, okay, like what are these projects that like today we're gonna,
Yeah.
I don't think this bear market's gonna be as bad. Famous last words, but
I mean, I pray it won't be, just because I can't imagine the
how ruined we will be.
yeah. But also just like how much harder it'll be for us to start up again. I know people are like easily get swayed by money, but like
I mean, it feels like the whole world has already entered the space, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
Like we're still, shockingly, we're
Yeah.
still early.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of young people that just haven't had the funds to participate that are, eventually, they're already on board. They just, they need to get a job.
Get a job, kid. Don't
it's
be an
the future.
artist.
We're moving that way. Oh shit! Do not. If you can do goddamn anything,
Yeah, that's my biggest regret. And I some people were like, "Why don't you teach?" And I was like, "I don't want to teach somebody at the college level, because I feel like most of them are just taking out loans for a major that they'll never be able to support themselves."
If you want to teach at like a meaningful school, like a good school where you got like talent consistently rolling through, you're on this like adjunct system,
Yeah.
and you're just starving being a teacher now. You're just
Yeah.
like getting your value extracted by another giant institution. It sucks.
See, I'd rather just teach like at a community college where people can actually afford the classes. No, but they can actually, the students can actually afford the classes. They're not going into massive student loan debt just to take an art class.
Yeah, but they're not going to be good. I mean,
and that's the shitty thing, right? It's like we're at a place now as in the artist space where you can't expect good artists at community colleges, or if the school's like not a top 50 art school, you can't expect good talent to roll through there. And it's just like, that is fucking insane.
There's literally, it feels, maybe I'm wrong on it. It feels like there's too many artists and too many art programs. You can
definitely too many.
A lot of artists, the program will sort of put you on a track that, that my thought has always been that the work of the artist is actually networking.
Yeah.
Because like all the art stuff, that's like kind of like what you're spiritually driven to do, but then like to actually succeed, you need all these other people to know about you and sort of curate you into shows and recommend you to other people. It's sort of all about the network. So you can sort of pay to get an automatic sort of impressive network of people by going to one of these top schools.
Yeah.
But it is important.
I tell people that if I started a program, it would be 50% art and 50% business, because
they don't cover it.
They don't cover it at all.
Just walk. They don't even tell you like, hey, you're in the top school in the country. You should be just trying to make friends here, because that's really what you're here to do. You're not here to win grad school or something.
Yeah. I feel like UCLA and USC for film are the only two schools that I'm aware of that actively do that. Like every student there realizes they're only there to make connections.
Yeah, that's smart.
I went to UT for grad school. Barely anybody talks to each other anymore. And it's just like, this is insane, man. But yeah, it's like you got to just be like all business, because like you said, you're doing the art because you have to. It's an outlet, and then you got to learn how to do the business side of it.
Yep.
Okay, so
it's interesting we got into this. I didn't realize you were an artist too. So we have a lot in common. It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to talk about on the show, because I don't think a lot of people are artists and they're always interested in behind the scenes.
I feel like we're running long, but I also kind of want to know why you started a podcast.
Just because I felt like, so I was with JJ and we were sitting there talking. We were going to try to do a project. He was the old co-host, and he jumped to a new project. But we were sitting at a coffee shop one time just talking about a crypto project we wanted to start, and I was like, why don't we just do this instead? Because we would just sit there and talk for like hours about crypto. I was like, why don't we just do a podcast about this? Like totally casual, just whatever pops into our heads, like stream of conscious type show. And so we just did that. And it was like, because a lot of our friends were getting scammed. We were getting scammed. This was like when ERC tokens were just launching, like everything was an ERC token and everything was a scam. And we were just, we were losing money left and right. And so we just wanted to like start talking about scams and how to avoid getting scammed and all that kind of stuff. So
while getting scammed. Yeah. I sort of had a similar experience around in 2018. I was on a podcast called Around the Corn, and it was more of like a entertainment podcast where we just make jokes and, fake advertisements and kind of skits. Like we were just like getting scammed and just kind of blowing off steam with friends kind of thing. But that's where I met Nero Drowse, at Nero Drowse, also known as Zod. He's our community, our main community guy in our Discord now. So it's like, even those things, sort of like you meet people that end up being like kind of partners on the journey.
Yeah.
So go get into Discord and meet Zod. He's really cool. And he also kind of does a podcast. You guys should talk.
Yeah, definitely. And he's also in Scoogies, right? Scoogies Discord.
Yep, he's in the Scoogies. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So they can find you at RightClickable. So what's the difference between at RightClickable and at RightClickable underscore?
Underscore is the company.
Okay.
I have such a huge ego. We named the company after my own at.
Hey, it's all right. Not confusing at all.
I'm RightClickable, the artist and founder of the company RightClickable, and at RightClickable underscore. Honestly, we haven't done a good job of like keeping that Twitter as active as the Memphis Lions Club account.
Yeah.
At Memphis Lions. So if I'm going to tell you to follow something, follow me personally, because I need more friends, at RightClickable, but also follow at Memphis Lions.
Okay.
And
I'll have everything in the show notes, so they can easily click there. And
sweet. Yeah, right on, brother. Well, I appreciate you giving me the airtime and talking about this stuff. Yeah. And I hope maybe we converted a couple of nano heads.
Absolutely, I'm sure they will. Look, and maybe I'll do a once Memphis drops, I'll do a little giveaway and give somebody a Memphis just to get them to convert over more.
Oh, did I ever answer your question about the mint date? Jesus Christ.
You said TBD.
Oh, TBD.
Yeah.
Okay, I did.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So.
All right.
All right. Cool. See you, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you in the next one.